This is a call that cost $4 million. A call that should never happen in theory. Why does a well-studied player do this? What influenced his decision making that we couldn't see from our screens at home?
I feel like this hand, which is like the first time ever, I kind of just gave up.
And does the joy of winning $6 million outweigh the pain of missing your one shot of winning the main event?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We're heads up in the biggest poker tournament of the world, playing for $10 million in total and $4 million effectively. Adrian Attenborough fought his way through a field of 8,661 players by strategically bluffing, reading, and hero calling his opponents, while also running well in all-ins, of course. Against Espen Jorstad, two controversial hands stood out and showcased what eventually decided the bracelet to go Jorstad's way. This video is sponsored by Prometheus Poker. In the first one, Adrian 3-bets Jack-4 suited and Espen calls his King-Queen suited. On the King-10-8 suited flop, Adrian c-bets, despite having no spade or heart in his hand.
I already don't like this. I just don't like because I'm holding diamonds, and it's just... The biggest part about this range and why I don't like it is just it's also first hand that heads up, and then I'm not really sure about how he's constructing his raising range. So it's like already makes it dicey, and then I'm holding diamonds in my range. I don't mind the bet, but I need to be pretty certain about his opening range, which I wasn't.
Having diamonds in the spot isn't the best because they block hands in our opponent's range that would fold to a bet, like any 4x without a pair or a Jack-X without additional equity. If we had hearts or spades on the other hand, we would block some hands in his range that would call, like flush draws or backdoor flush draws, which would increase the chance of taking down the pot with the c-bet. The solver is still fine with a small bet because in position would still fold 22% of his range, which are total air hands. Espen continues with a call and could even raise some top pair hands here. The turn is a 4, which gives Adrian a pair and additional equity. He goes for a barrel of 2/3 pot, which the solver doesn't like as it prefers checking. Instead of putting money in the pot with a hand that rarely folds out better, the GTO approach would be to take your showdown value and go for the check down against ace highs and missed draws. In hindsight, Adrian prefers another approach, which doesn't so much rely on making the perfect decision on future streets like the solver would, but instead focuses on simplifying his later decisions.
I'd probably rather go overpot, but I like the barrel. Just because there's a ton of floats that he still has in his range, whether he plays ace-queen this way or ace-jack, even jack-9 suited, 9-7 suited, stuff like that, then he still has all the flush draw. Even if he's holding like 4 or 5 of hearts on the turn, I should go sides where it's going to like get all those hands to fold. This turn size is what really fucks up my river decision, probably what made me take so long.
Because the river bricks out. Adrian checks and Espen shoves all in, which means Adrian is now in the difficult position of estimating how many missed draws Espen might have called on the turn and is now shoving on the river.
Yeah, and then it was more just like it was just taking me a very long time to go over. I was struggling to think about ranges and combos, and so I was just like, God damn it. I was like, what the fuck did I just put myself into? I was like, just had a call about taking my time, relaxing, and then like I just remember sitting down and I was just not there. And then also I'm so fatigued here. Like there's not much going on in my brain. I'm like by this stage I'm pretty out of it. Yeah, it was just I had no idea I tanked that long. But if I knew it got to that long, I would have made a decision for sure earlier. But I do just remember looking at the clock afterwards and being like, what the hell? Did I just take ages? And then I had no idea. In my head, I probably took like 6-7 minutes, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's just burnout and fatigue, I imagine. Though.
What you're critiquing the most about this play is basically...
kind of everything. The 3-bet-3, not knowing his strategy, the c-bet on the flop, having bad blockers, and also... not knowing his strategy, not knowing his range. And then turn size, I really don't like. If I just size up to say I go 125% or go pot, I have an easy check fold on the river.
I mean, you find the good fold.
I wish I just called. It would have just ended everything.
Well, we get to that now. When Adrian gets dealt Jack-4 again, offsuit this time. He checks back after Espen's limp and check raises his pair on deuce-4.
I don't like my check raise. I don't like everything bad about this hand.
Espen, who flopped trips, 3-bets the flop, which, just like Adrian's check raise, wouldn't happen in the simulation. Adrian calls, the turn is an 8, and Espen barrels.
The only thing I really remember about this hand was like internally on the turn, it's just like, this is a clear fold, like fold. And I don't know why I call. Like, I just know like it's such a, it hurts looking back at this. I haven't seen it, but it's like, just because it was so far, like I just played so bad.
Well, if he had a solver sitting next to him, he would have had another voice yelling at him to fold. We do get to the river though, where Espen makes a full house, jams all in, and Adrian goes into another tank. If you would like to have a solver with you everywhere you go, the Prometheus Battle app might be exactly for you. With the Battle app, you can practice everyday spots including multi-way hands on your phone, whenever and wherever you like. The AI-based solver gives you instant feedback on your play and lets you then explore the GTO strategy of your complete range. Find the Prometheus Poker Battle app in the link in the description or scan the code with your phone and make sure you equip yourself with the knowledge you need when a big spot comes up.
Yeah, I feel like this hand, which is like the first time ever, I kind of just gave up in terms of just wanted it to be over.
I see. No, I understand. The pressure must be so high for so many days, and then did it affect you that it's like the heads up everybody's
it wasn't
looking at you?
necessarily the pressure. I never really felt the pressure in terms of like, I knew I was running so far above EV. I was kind of just enjoying the ride, but it was more just, I lost like 12 pounds over the 10 days or something because I just wasn't eating enough. I got really sick by like after the day 8, I mentally just got like, it felt like I was coming off a huge like party bender for like 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
After the final table, I probably slept for a week straight. I didn't do anything. So it was just kind of, you literally feel like you're on drugs. I don't know, people were saying like how much Adderall you're on and stuff like that because my pupils are so big, but it's like, I only took 1 cup of coffee at the start of every day. It's just like your adrenaline just so high, and then I wasn't eating enough, and then I fully just crashed out. But and then normally when that happens and I'm play tired, I become the biggest station. So it's like this stuff makes sense when I don't know what's going on. I just click call. I'm like, oh, this just needs to be over.
So it seems like you are actually thinking about what to do and going through it in your head, but I don't know what. Maybe you don't.
I have no idea what I'm thinking about this. But I think I was just so frustrated with myself internally that I've once again put myself in this spot. And it's like, I think at this stage of day 10, how my body is, I just didn't have enough in me to like go through a whole thought process again and then find a fold. It was just like, I remember in this hand just being like, I just want this to be over. Like it was so hard to construct ranges and think about hands. It was just like, I've got myself here. This is it. Like, fuck it. Like that, which is just looking back, I think that's what makes me so mad that I didn't even know if that was in me to just like kind of give up.
Queen deuce, unsurprisingly, is a clear jam for Espen. Jack 4 off is not in the simulation anymore as it would always fold on the turn. But we can see that Jack 4 suited and every other 4x are purely folding the river.
There wasn't much going on in my head. It just seems like I'm hoping he's bluffing, which he probably never is. The thing that makes me the most upset about this scenario is I never like stationing when they have a lot of value combos, and I'm also struggling to construct bluffs. When in this scenario, he just has all the 6 combos of the ace deuce off, the king deuce off. I didn't think he would play lower deuce X off, and I didn't even think he would potentially have queen deuce. But and I was blocking jack. It's obviously bad.
In the relative
he was
sense.
the one of the best players at the final table. Even just being able to play solid for 10 days straight is a good skill. So like he played very solid. He's the guy. That's a good question, because it's like I'm obviously grateful and I'm so lucky that I could run good in the main event. and you get to have that experience. Like not many players get a chance to even get to do that. Like it was an 8,000 player field, so I'm so grateful for how lucky I was in the run. But then it's like, then on the other hand, it still hurts so much in terms of being that close. And more, I wouldn't care if I just got like kings into aces and lost. It was just more like the hands that I lost was really based on my skill level, and it kind of makes me sad that I could play that bad for the state I was in. So it's like there's still, I feel like you could still do a lot of study and know and make sure you're not doing anything like that. But it's just like trying to take it for what it is. I wasn't playing poker that much beforehand, and I don't play tournaments, and I got lucky and ran really good in a main event. So of course I'm grateful, and Espen's a great guy, so he's a great champion, and a lot of people on the final table were great people. It was a good experience overall. I'm a lot more motivated now post my WSOP score than what I was beforehand. Yeah, I think just because my heads up hand was so bad, I'm like mad that I played like that, and I'm like, I'm fucking not gonna get better.
In case you haven't seen Adrian's amazing hands that took him to the heads up, make sure to watch part 1 and part 2 of this series here.